What's up, everyone? In this video, we have some big news with the EV sector. We have Rivian stock just tanking to the downside. Ford stock is blasting up, and even Tesla and Lucid are going crazy. So in this video, we have some big updates related to these electric vehicle stocks, and we have some beef between Elon Musk and Joe Biden. So, we can see Joe Biden made a tweet the other day saying Ford is investing $11 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. He also said GM is making the largest investment in its history. $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan. Elon Musk replied to that tweet saying, Tesla has created over 50,000 U.S. jobs building electric vehicles and is investing more than double GM and Ford combined. So Elon Musk and Joe Biden are they're beefing a little bit, and this is not the first time this happened. We can see that back in January, Elon Musk was not invited to the White House while the CEOs of GM and Ford were. Elon Musk went on to call Joe Biden a damp sock puppet in human form. So, there's definitely some beef between Musk and Joe Biden, and Musk is not too happy with Biden, and I just thought that tweet was interesting. But either way, looking at these EV stocks, like I said, Ford's blasting to the upside. We also have some news to cover with that. Honestly, Tesla is not moving too much today. It was really just a beef with Biden. But one stock that's really moving is Rivian. This thing is tanking to the downside. It had some bad news. The stock is down 13%, and I was someone who was pretty vocal about Rivian's insane valuation back when it was at like $170 a share. If you guys go back to the November videos, I was kind of hating on Rivian at like 170 and 180, and now it's at 53. So that's interesting to see. But either way, Rivian is not looking too good. They have a couple main things going on with their stock. The first thing is that they went ahead and rose their EV prices by 20%. That's a lot. They rose their EV prices by 20%. On top of that, they got downgraded, or they got their price target cut by RBC from $165 down to $116. That's also not good. And I would say what's even worse is that Rivian missed their production targets in a pretty bad way. So in 2021, Rivian was expected to produce around 1,200 vehicles, right? They actually only ended up producing 1,115 vehicles. So, they're not looking the best right now, and it's just looking pretty rough. And it was crazy to think that just when they IPO'd a couple months ago, they were the world's third largest auto manufacturer by market cap. So, while Rivian might have some awesome technology, keep in mind that, they only produced 1,015 vehicles in 2021, while on the other hand, we have companies out here like Ford that plans to produce 2 million electric vehicles annually. So, and that's by 2026. But still, like even Tesla is producing tons of vehicles where, while Rivian has all this hype, you can have some awesome ideas and awesome technology, but at the end of the day, if you can't produce your vehicles and you can't produce your product, your technology doesn't matter. So Rivian is definitely taking a hit there. Shifting over to some of the positive things in the EV market, we have Ford up around 7.5% today. It is looking pretty good. It's getting really close to its high of day right now. Ford had some pretty good news. Here, let me just pull up the CNBC article for everyone. We can see if we scroll all the way to the top of this CNBC article, Ford said that it will split its EV auto business from its legacy auto business. They think, or the Ford, I guess you'd say executive team, thinks this will be a huge step for Ford for the future. We can see that the CEO said that today our corporate structure is holding us back. It does not allow us to focus. We need the ICE business to be cash generating and serving those iconic brands. We need our electric business, the digital business, to be about innovation. If we also scroll down, we can see that the former Tesla and Apple executive, Doug Field, who Ford hired last year, will lead Ford's Model E's production creation as Chief EV and Digital Systems Officer. So I remember when Ford hired Doug Field, that was pretty big. But overall, we can see that the Ford executive team is very happy that they are kind of splitting their EV business from their traditional business. And like I said, the executive team is pretty happy about that. The CFO of Ford said this new structure will enhance our capacity to generate industry-leading growth, profitability, and liquidity in this new era of transportation. So that's awesome. Ford also had some good news recently, basically saying that they plan to produce 2 million electric vehicles annually and generate a 10% operating profit by 2026. So that's awesome. They're definitely doing a pretty good job adapting to current times, and I guess you could say just like shifting into that EV market. And the Ford stock has done very, very well over the past couple years. I know it hit lows of around like $4 back in 2020, and it hit highs of around like almost 26 a couple months ago. So it's been doing pretty well. And of course, any type of EV hype is normally pretty good for the stock. And then lastly, we have good old Lucid. All right, so Lucid. This stock is down like 4% today. It's been on a pretty rough downtrend over the past couple months, and this one's also looking pretty rough. Just kind of like Rivian, to be honest. So this is, it's kind of rough. So if we look into the Lucid news, we can see, if we go all the way to the top, EV startup Lucid slashes 2022 vehicle production forecast, causing shares to plummet. So basically what happened is Lucid cut their production guidance by 40%. It's kind of like what's going on with Rivian. Like, it's like, these, I guess you could say, startup companies like Lucid and Rivian can have all of this great technology, but at the end of the day, if you cannot produce your product, that's a problem, like it's a big, big problem. So basically, if we look at the second bullet point, we can see Lucid originally planned to produce around 20,000 vehicles for this year. However, they said that realistically, they're only going to produce around 12,000 to 14,000 vehicles. So it's like, it's just like 20,000 vehicles wasn't a ton to begin with, but now they're only expecting 12 to 14,000. So it's not looking good. And they basically said the reason for this is just the, I guess you could say, supply chain problems and shortages with everything. And it's not what you would think, though. Like initially you would think that, it has to do with the semiconductor chips and all that stuff. But, the Lucid CEO said it had to do with commodity parts such as glass and carpet rather than an ongoing global shortage of semiconductor chips. So I thought that was pretty interesting because, like everything has been about the semiconductor chips lately. So I thought that was interesting. Also, I guess kind of on a good note, the thing is that Lucid is building a second production plant in Saudi Arabia. If we go all the way down here, we can see Lucid also confirmed plans to build its first international assembly plant in Saudi Arabia. The CEO said that it is expected to begin production in 2025. So it's like, it's good that they're building the second plant, but it's like, that's years down the road, and, like, it can help in the future, but I feel like Lucid has some problems to solve. I feel like Lucid definitely has some problems to solve in the meantime. There are around 25,000 reservations for Lucid's vehicles right now, which is good. But it seems like the demand is good. But again, like you have to be able to efficiently produce your product in order to grow as a company. And then another thing, this is also pretty bad. So if we scroll down, we can see. Let me find this really quickly. All right, so we can see that the automaker, so Lucid, reported a loss of $1 billion during the fourth quarter, and then they only had revenue of $26.4 million. We could also see it lost $4.8 billion in 2021 alone. So, things clearly are not going the best over there at Lucid and Rivian, but Ford and Tesla seem to be doing pretty well. So, all this stuff is pretty interesting, and I figured I'd make a video to update everyone on the EV market because it's been a crazy year so far for a lot of stocks, especially these EV stocks. But all in all, I would really encourage everyone, like especially if you're investing into Lucid and Rivian, to really take a deep look into these companies because, when we have Ford out here, planning to produce, let me pull it up, 2 million vehicles annually by 2026. Here, 2 million electric vehicles annually by 2026. And then we have Rivian out here only producing, what was it, like 1,015 electric vehicles? Like, that's a serious problem. So consider doing a deep dive into some of these companies. You know, Rivian and Lucid could do well in the future, but it's like they have a lot of work to do in order to justify their current day valuations. Like, yes, like they have some pretty decent products, but just keep in mind there's a lot more that goes into a company's performance and profitability than just the products that they have to offer. Like, they have to be able to produce their products in an efficient and profitable way to grow over the long term. So please keep that in mind, and let me know what you guys think about these EV companies. I know a lot of people have been hyping up Ford lately. I know a lot of people are still on that Tesla train, but let me know what you guys think about all these stocks. And guys, don't forget about our new stock analysis dashboard. It allows you to analyze any company's fundamentals basically instantly. The prices will definitely be rising on this one. I use this dashboard every single day, and like I said, the prices will definitely be rising because we have some giant updates in the works. Last but not least, if you guys are new here and if you like the video, please consider subscribing. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.